back to Trenette Talks. It's your girl, Michelle. Grab your coffee cups, get comfortable, because today is about court day. So, where I last left off, I believe we were talking about how I took my ex back and why I took him back and what was going down in our relationship and how I left him. So, I left him on a Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025 to be exact. And we had court that Monday, the 15th, December 15th, 2025. So let's get into it. It was the day of court. I barely slept last night. I was just thinking about what I'm going to say to the judge and how I'm going to say it to her and how I can better phrase my statements to where she actually believes me this time, because I think I messed up at the last protective order hearing because I was so nervous that I wasn't getting my point across and I wasn't presenting my evidence as I should. I learned from that hearing to present my evidence as I'm going. Don't wait until you're at the end and you just start handing stuff. That's not how it goes. You have to hand it to the judge as you're talking about whatever incident it is at that moment. So I learned that, and I learned to present everything that I had to present, because last time I did not present anything. So I'm just in the bed, tossing and turning, stressing about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, what is he going to say, what is he going to lie about, this and this and that. So it's the next morning, the day of court, and I got myself ready. I got my baby ready as normal. I brought him to daycare, and then I headed over to the courthouse. I made it there around, I want to say 8:32, and the courthouse doors open at 8:30, and the court starts at 9. So I get there, I already see his police unit. Of course, he brought his police card to the courthouse. I just prayed. I played some gospel music. I got myself together, put my shoes on, put on my earrings, stuff like that, put on perfume. I made sure I had all of my stuff I needed in my purse, and I went in. I put my purse down on a little belt so it can go through the detector. And then I went through the detector, and the guy told me he's already up there. And I told him, thank you. So I get in the elevator. I'm taking a deep breath, and I went to go find what courtroom everybody was in. So I went to the first one. I didn't see him. I just quickly glanced, but I didn't see him on the other side of the courtroom. So I was like, well, we must be in a small courtroom. So I went to the bathroom. I was starting to get nervous, so I just went in there. I prayed again and asked God to just keep me calm and give me the strength to say what I need to say to the judge and let the judge actually hear and understand me clearly this time, So I did that, took another deep breath. I got out of the bathroom, and then I went to the small courtroom, and nobody was in there. So I was like, we have to be in the big courtroom. So as soon as I turned around and started walking back towards the big courtroom, he's coming out the big courtroom. And for the first time, I felt nothing when I saw him. It was kind of like a shock, oh shit. But it wasn't like a deep pit in my stomach, So I said, okay, that's progress. So I walked past him. I went into the courtroom. He went downstairs, I guess, to go get his chief, because after I sat in the courtroom for a while, looking in my binder and stuff and reading my friend's book, I look up over there and he has his chief with him. When I tell y'all I was so mad, I said, so are you telling me the chief of police is here at this courthouse supporting him in this matter? I was heated. I was so mad. So that made me lose all respect for the chief, because you're the chief of my hometown. I'm the one that was raised in this hometown all my life. He came all the way from a whole nother parish, all the way across the river to my hometown to follow and harass me. And you want to sit here and support him? Lost all respect. So, but it was fine. In my head, I was like, he only got the chief here to intimidate me, to make it seem like I don't have any credibility. So I wasn't really, worried about it that much. Time passes, and y'all don't forget, we've been in this courtroom since 8:45, 9 o'clock. Come on now. So time passes, and the judge comes in. She calls the roll. She starts with the easy cases, if somebody was just there to pay child support, or if somebody need a continuance, things like that. They just went ahead and handled that. And then she had a recess. I was like, oh my gosh. So then she called me in his name, and she was like, y'all need to speak with Iris while we're at this recess to see if he can represent y'all. I already know he can't, because just like last time, he represented Geronimo when Geronimo got the protective order on his dad. So he couldn't represent me because it was a conflict of interest. And I'm glad, because like his demeanor, he doesn't give me like good vibes. And I'm glad you're not representing me, because you just here for the money, almost like how I feel like, and you don't give a damn about what these people actually going through. Because he got there after a while, and he talked to me. He was talking so loud, like, oh yeah, Michelle, you've been here 3 times, right? Yeah, I can't represent you, conflict of interest. And I was like, I already know that. That's why I didn't want to come talk to you. I wasn't trying to talk to you. Like, get the hell out of my face. Like, you're fucking rude. So anyway, time passes, and people are being called to the back to handle their child support, like how much they're going to have to pay and stuff like that. So we were waiting all day, but I already expected this, because last time we were waiting all day. Like, she didn't see us last time until about 3:45, and the courthouse closes at 4:30. I want to say we got seen probably around the same time again. And my mom did come there because his chief was already there with him. And the next thing you know, another one of his coworkers shows up. And I'm like, ain't no way the same people he's sitting here talking about day in and day out, they're here to support him. That's crazy. So my mama heard all of that, and she was like, oh, I'm coming up there because that don't make no sense. And so she came there, but she stayed a few hours, but she had to go. And I'm glad she left, because some of the stuff I was going to say, she has never heard before. And I didn't want her to have to hear that. Like, you're my mom. I don't want you to have to, hear the pain that I've gone through, because it's going to bring you pain. So she left, and I was so, so glad. Everybody was finally done. We were the only protective order case that day, and it was time. So we get up there, and she tells me that since I filed, I'm going to be able to testify first. And then once I testify, he will be able to cross-examine me, and then he can testify. So I start talking. And immediately as I start talking, like, my voice is shaky and I can tell I'm finna cry. So I just said, well, over the past few months, I've been dealing with escalating behavior from Geronimo. And I said, and I just started crying, because it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot that I've dealt with, and having to tell it to the judge and the clerk's office and all that in front of them, in a microphone, on record, with him right there, knowing he's going to lie. Like, it felt like a lot. So I just started crying. And I was like, I'm sorry, Judge. And she said, it's okay. So I told her all that he's done to me. I told her how every day he would threaten to tase or kill me. And he would threaten to beat me every day. And he would tell me that if he ever killed me, that he would get away with it because he's a cop and his chief will cover for him. And I said, and it seems believable, because look who is here supporting him today. The chief is here with him. So it seems believable to me. I told her how he had cameras all over the house, cameras outside, cameras inside, cameras facing the bedroom, because he told me that he wants to catch me cheating. And if he sees another man in my bed, he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. Like, he told me that every single day. And if he did do something to me and I defended myself against him, I was the one going to jail for battery of a police officer, not him for beating me. I'm going to jail for defending myself. I told her everything. Like, I wish I had my binder so I could read it to y'all, because I have notes, but I told her everything. I told her about the sexual abuse, how he would literally force himself on me. And he would tell me while he's forcing himself on me, call it rape or call it whatever you want, I'm getting some. He would threaten me with sex. If you don't have sex with me, you're not taking my car to work. If you don't have sex with me by so-and-so time, go back and stay with your mama. If you don't have sex with me, I'm not paying for daycare. Everything was a threat. And if I said no, if I wasn't in the mood, if I was sick, whatever, he's still going to force himself on me. And I told her how I tried to leave him in September. September 18th to be exact. I tried to leave him and he was throwing my clothes all over the ground. He threw my clothes in the washing machine and wet them up so I couldn't pack it. He was throwing my baby stuff around. And I said, when I tried to leave out the door, he grabbed me, pinned me up against the wall, and choked me as hard as he could until I can barely breathe. He choked me. And then when I started screaming for help, he slung me on the ground. He wrapped his whole body around me so I could not move, and he covered my mouth so I couldn't scream. And I got that on voice record. I have it. So she was believing me, and I was so thankful. I don't know if it's because I was crying this time, and last time I wasn't crying, but it's worse from last time. The things he's done to me is worse from last time. So I'm just telling her everything, and I could not stop crying. Like, I cried the whole entire time. And she asked me maybe like 1 or 2 questions. I forgot the questions, but then I told her how I had his car and he was threatening to have me arrested for taking his car, even though he's been letting me drive the car for months. But since he didn't have my location, he was threatening me, saying he's going to put me in jail for taking his car. All of that, I showed her the messages from when he was threatening me and things like that. And so I presented everything. I was done because I was tired of crying. And she kept asking me, are you sure that's everything? Are you sure? And I said, yes, ma'am, I'm sure. So then it was his turn. The first thing he says is, Judge, she has been lying to a T and she is being dramatic. I started crying again because it's like, how could you just swore under oath and you're sitting here and lying on me like this? And so he got to ask me his questions. Well, first of all, before he even asked me his questions, she stopped and she said, I feel like I've heard enough. And she told Geronimo, she said, I can let you testify, but to save time, just to save everybody's time, I've already made a decision in my head. And she said, now we can end it here. Like, she phrased it some type of way. She was like, we can end it here. And if you agree with doing that, like, you won't have any penalties against you. But she said, if we continue on and you testify and I do a finding and, I put the protective order in place and I grant it, she said, it's going to look bad for you in family court, custody and child support. She said, that's going to look bad because it's going to be on your record. And she kept pausing to give him a chance to say, okay, I don't want to testify. It's fine. But he said, oh, no, I want to testify. I want to keep going. So everybody already kind of got mad because it's 4:30 pretty much and everybody's ready to go home. So he got to ask me questions, stupid questions. He was like, so Michelle, did we not go shopping together recently? And I said, yeah. And he was like, did I not take you out to eat? You did? Did we not spend time together with our child? So, like, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it seem like we had all these good moments. So how could the stuff I'm saying be true? And the judge caught on to it too. And she stopped him and said, I've done thousands of cases and it's not uncommon for y'all to try to make up and go out together and be a normal couple just, for the hope and stuff like that. She said, stop doing that. Stop with those questions and just go ahead and testify. So, yeah, he goes on to say how I'm such a liar and I'm being so dramatic and everything I testified is a lie. He told the judge how I was really the abusive one and, just that everything I said is what I was doing to him. And he was saying how, this what really got me. He said that I just came to his job the other day and I was trying to bust the windows out of his police unit. I jumped up so fast. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why would I willingly and stupidly go to a police department where I know there is cameras everywhere and try to bust the windows out of your police unit, which y'all claim the units have cameras too? Why would I do that? You're not worth that. You're not worth my life. You're not worth me going to jail and losing my child. Like, that makes no sense to me. The judge was not buying it. And then he goes on to say that that's why the chief was there with him to testify to me doing that. When I tell y'all, I turned around so fast, I looked at Chief dead in his face because I was waiting on this man to stand up and lie on under oath on this stand that I came to his police department and try to bust the windows out his employee's car. I was waiting on it. So the chief did not testify. And the judge asked him, she said, so when did you report this so-called incident? Did you report it while it was happening or after the fact? And he said, after the fact, but I should have reported it while it was happening. So she said, so if I let the chief testify, is he going to tell me what he actually heard and saw? Or is he going to tell me what you told him? And he said, what he told me, inadmissible. That's hearsay. And you're lying. So she already said that the chief was not testifying. And you can tell the chief didn't want to testify. The chief looked so damn confused. So it got to a point where he was telling the judge that he has videos in his phone of me being abusive towards him. So she said, I would like to see it. So we went and had a recess so we can go get our phones and he can show this so-called evidence. Y'all, the evidence was a year old. It was a video from whenever I got arrested on my domestic violence charges just because he was mad I left him. That all got dismissed. I went to jail twice. He went to jail twice. All that got dismissed. So as soon as the judge watched it and then showed it to me, I just saw the picture, like just the background of the old house. And I immediately said, that is old. We had ankle monitors. That all got dismissed with Judge Lurie. We had a protective order. That's old. That got dismissed. That shouldn't even be admissible in court. And so she kept watching the video. She watched it about 5 times because he tried to show the video with no audio. And she said, find a video with audio because I can tell that you're, by your body language, that you're all hyped up. So something had to happen before this video that you're showing me. And I told her, I said, before that video, he was beating on me in the back room, choking me against the wall. And he even punched a hole in the wall in the back room by my head. I said, I had all this for Judge Lurie, but the case got dismissed. And she said, okay, like she believed me. So she found the video with sound. He on the phone with mama, cursing my mama out, talking crazy. And when I came into the room, I was only trying to snatch the phone out of his hand. And she even acknowledged that. And then in the video, it goes on and he picked me up and slammed me on the ground so hard. And I'm a month pregnant. And she said, so clearly in the video, she's just trying to get the phone out your hand. She's not putting her hands on you. And she said, and you picked her up and slammed her like that? That was so much force. That was not necessary for just a man trying to stop a woman. You put too much force on her. And she said, honestly, you're the one that's in the wrong here. And he was like, well, Judge Lurie and all the officers I showed it to, they said she was in the wrong. And she was like, so I'm a whole new set of eyes. This is a whole new case. And I'm telling you, you were in the wrong. So he was mad. And I'm like, that's what you get because you're trying to use old stuff against me as if it's current and it's not. So she said, she asked him about 5 or 6 times. So why do you have so many cameras in the house? And he go say, well, if somebody break inside the house, I got them inside, and if they come inside, you feel me? I got them trying to, getting stuff inside. And she was not buying it. Like, it didn't make no sense. Outside cameras are just enough for you to catch somebody. You don't need cameras in the living room, cameras in the bedroom, many cameras on top of that. You don't. So she wasn't buying it. And she was like, so you're claiming she's the abusive one and y'all been together for a long time and you have all these cameras. Everywhere you go, you have all these cameras, but you only have one video of her putting her hands on you out of all this time? Oh, Judge, every time she finna get abusive with me, she unplugged the camera. She taking the batteries out the cameras. I got up there. I said, that is so not true. I said, he does that to me. He knows where the cameras are, so he knows where to get me, so he can put his hands on me in the back where the cameras are not. And when I put my hands on him back, I'm all of a sudden in front of a camera. I said, don't believe that. That's a lie. I have no reason to lie to you, Judge. I don't. Like, I was getting mad because don't lie. Don't tell the judge that I do what you do to me. Don't do that. So she believed me. She nodded her head as soon as I said that. And after that, she ruled in favor of my protective order. So she told him that he's going to have to pay the court costs. And but if he objects, then we're gonna have to do another hearing so we can have a longer hearing. And he said, I object. Oh, I object. And she said, well, you have to fill out the objection form and pay the $225 objection fee. And he was like, oh, that's fine. I could pay that. There ain't no problem. I can go pay it right now. But the courthouse was closed, so he had to come back tomorrow, or I'll come back tomorrow. And so I asked for my baby's high chair because she was going through the order, and she was like, did you get everything you need, like your kitchen stuff and all that? And I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I just need my baby's high chair from out the house. And she said, y'all only have one? And I said, yes. And she asked him, can she get the high chair? I object. When I tell you, the whole courtroom looked at him so crazy. And she said, so she can't get the high chair. I object. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, that just shows how much he does not care about her, like our son. He only got me pregnant just to try to have control over me. That's what he does. He doesn't care about the kids. He only likes the title of being a father, but does not do shit for them. And he only uses kids to control the mothers. That's it. And that the judge understood it right there. Court was on Monday, right? So he has until Thursday to do that objection form and pay the fee. And he has yet to do it. It's Thursday. So he has until the end of the day. Y'all, as I record this, it's 1:00 p.m. So he has until 4:30. And I honestly don't think he's going to file. And my fingers are crossed that he doesn't, because you lost. So what is the point of paying this $225 for us to go to court again, and then you lose again, and then you still got to pay court fees on top of that? And it's Christmas time, so I know your money is funny right now. Like, what's going on? So yeah, that was court, and for the first time, I finally felt heard. Like, I finally felt understood. I finally felt seen. Like, everything I've gone through is not in vain, and the system is finally supporting me. Like, yes, that was such a good feeling to finally be heard and have something ruled in my favor. And I really need this protective order. Like I told the judge, if I don't get this order, I'm going to feel like everything that he put me through was not that bad, and I'm going to take him back. I'm telling you what I'm going to do, because I've done it 3-4 times already. If I don't have this order, I'm going to take him back. I need it so I can move on and heal and get over all of this. And she felt that. So I'm glad she granted it. So I'm guessing if he doesn't sign it by today, they're going to, fill out my granted protective order paperwork, and I guess either mail it to me or I can pick it up and they go try to serve him again. But I think he's not going to pay for it. I really do. Because if he wanted to, he would have paid for it that Tuesday, and he has not. So, yeah. That's all I have for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and follow me on YouTube. My channel is Trenette TV, and I will see you guys next Monday. I hope y'all have a great week, and I love all of y'all. Bye.